very good season. In some ways, fantastic season. I think we can be that positive, finishing top 10, the smallest of margins, finishing 9, I think 1 more point on 3 more goals. Would have done that and equal the Premier League best ever position. I think for any club, what is all the positive narratives, what's the positive stories? And I think like a few funny bits, like we scored 3 times or 4 times and 3 times in a row and under a minute and basically from kick-off. We had a fantastic stat in the beginning of the season with the most home wins. I think we are the home ground where the most goals have been involved. We have a unbelievable, dangerous front 3, scoring 50 goals between the 3 of them. 2 of them, obviously, Brian and Bermo and Johan was on 20 goals and 19 goals. Such a nice development in the team and for individuals, so top season. It is the most difficult league in the world. This season showed also that is maybe even more competitive than it's ever been. Budget matters, money matters. That's a big part of your, how can you say, performance range or performance indicators. And we all know that we are among the lowest in the division, but the good thing is that strategy from top to bottom, alignment from top to bottom, top leadership in Matthew Benham, who's a fantastic owner, probably one of the best in the world. Good and calm leadership from Phil Giles, Lee Dykes, John Varney. I think all that is important. And then I think we got a very good group of staff, good group of players, and we are aligned on how we want to play, the principles we want to get into the players, how we want to develop people. I think all that factor up, and in the end makes it possible for us to compete. I think it's the same if you compare to other, let's say, smaller clubs in other cities across the world in other leagues. Probably never go away, and I think also will probably never go away with Brentford. It's clear we have been there for 4 years. We have not the biggest stadium in terms of capacity, a fantastic stadium, a fantastic ground in many ways. But I also do feel that the clubs take us more and more serious. So it's not easy. They respect us, which I'm very proud of. That's down to the fantastic work everyone has done. So I definitely feel that respect us. It's more and more difficult. We never set a target for a table position. It's never. I don't like that, and I just want to end as high as possible. If it's possible to finish 12th, we want to aim for that. If it's 10, 7, whatever. But it's more the layers we wanted to add. We wanted to be more dominant on the ball in spells. We wanted really to work on our phase 1, a little bit, tactical football now. Phase 1, how could we build from behind? A little bit the phase 2, but also the phase 3 and 4 in terms of how we break through and score goals. And I think that aspect of the game we really lifted this season. We scored some fantastic goals where we build up all the way from the back, through the middle and into the open spaces, and we have such a dangerous front 3 that really benefited of that. We wanted to do it last year as well. We spoke about that a few times, and we started well the first 11 games. Then the injury hit us and we struggled a little bit, and we had to go back to base camp, regroup, and make sure we managed to do the most important thing to be in the league next year. But this year we definitely taking that jump. I think it's 65 or 66 goals. 66 goals. I think that's the 5th highest in league. That's incredible to be able to score that amount of goals. And then there's a few foundations in terms of the hard work, the culture. That's a bit we constantly need to take over to make sure we have, because if you don't have that, it's difficult to compete in this league. And then I think another thing is the set pieces. I think is very important now. 8 games with 4 goals or more, and that's the most in the Premier League.
By 2. No one did that more than 6 times.
Wow. You always think some of the bigger clubs will have that stat or be able to have that stat. I think that's incredible in so many ways to be able to do that. Really impressed with that. I didn't know that it was 8. And I think it shows a little bit the offensive mindset we have, the attacking ability to keep going, to keep want to go forward, keep want to score goals. So I think that sums up this season well. Added with 50 goals between the 3, with the 3 players on double-digit numbers, that sums up the season. Then it's just, a coincidence, but the 50th Premier League win which we are the 10th quickest team to achieve in Premier League history. If you look at some of the clubs that are in the Premier League and has been in the Premier League, and we're the club that done that the 10th quickest, that's incredible. I think that's unbelievable achievement from everyone involved in this club over the last 8 years. I think we started very well at home, as we talked about, not as good as away. Some of the great wins home showed how the offensive football we played at spells. But I think the turning point was probably, it could be the first away win against Southampton, 5-0 away. But I actually think the 2-1 away to Crystal Palace, because that took us into, I think, the last 16 games. We really changed a few things to try to be more competitive away from home. And not that we didn't try to be competitive before, but really looked into what is that we can try to improve. And since that, we in the last 10 away games, we have the highest number of points. The big learning again is last season. That is, this league is so competitive, so difficult. I think you take nothing for granted. Our expectations, the fans' expectations, everyone's expectation will always rise the better you do it. So we should take that as a compliment and a fantastic thing. I will always remind myself and the team and the staff about that. So we work hard and we constantly improve. The biggest learning is two things. One, that we need to keep adding layers, as I say, keep developing the team, the players, because that's where we can compete. That way we can compete or keep competing. A little bit about the defensive side, the rest defending, bits like that, how we approach the away games. Availability of our players, having the best players available is a big thing. So we knew that, and I think the medical guys and the performance guys and everyone involved around that have done a top job this season. I think we had good availability. We have had some of our key players being available more or less for 38 games. I think 7 or 8 of them, so that's hugely important. Also last season we started well in terms of wanting to play, I don't want to say more offensive, but a little bit more in phase 1, phase 2, building that into the team, but also that we were adaptable enough when we had to be adaptable enough. So that was the two biggest learnings that we took into new season, and we could actually keep going. The performance of the team is linked to the, let's say, individual development of performance from the players, and if you can merge that together and you can make sure it's going in sync, then you can create a bit of magic. We always been big on developing players. We always been big on developing people, and that's something we constantly try to do in every aspect. That patience you also need to have in that, I think is important. So let's say 3 key players this season, and I could name a lot, but Keane Lewis Potter, Kevin Schade and Mikkel Damsgaard has been here before this season, 2 years and 1.5 years, something like that. And it's not that they hadn't performed okay, but now they got a little bit of consistent run of games. The hard work from all the coaches individualized on them and into them, they really benefited from that. And then they have been able to take to the next level. And I think it's so important that everyone keep believing in the players. And I think that's my job, the coaches' jobs, everyone, but also the fans to remember that because one player haven't had the best season or, it's just the first year here. You can't remember, touch wood, any player we brought in that hasn't performed to a decent level. And then some have really taken the next step. So I think that's a big part of who we are and what we want to do. And we want to be one of the best clubs in the world to develop players. I'm slightly biased, but I think we're quite good at it. That group of coaches is around the players, give them the best possibilities, but it's also the support staff in terms of the performance staffs. There's medicals, nutritionists, and everything around that give them to another level. So they're more robust when they go in the gym. They're getting quicker. They are becoming even more professional. They're optimizing every area around them to be that 24/7 pro. That helps, and I think we've got a squad where there's still levels to go. Good example, Jon Wisser, he's 28, I think, 28. He just had the best season in his life, part of the development, and he also taken 4 seasons, step, which is incredible. We believe in any player can come into us and also lift it to the next level. I think Christian Nørgaard, our captain, probably also played one of his best seasons. That's the players driving it themselves. It needs to come that inner drive, but also the support for the support staff and also the coaches. I think it's good to end on a high, which I think we've done. As I say, 1 defeat in 8 is really good. We need to build on where we are now. I think it's, understand, okay, we are maybe on this foundation and then we need to build from here. But also where it's small steps, it's not big steps, that's very difficult. This year we also tweaked the system a little bit, so we went more to a 4-2-3-1. That was a little bit flexible. I think all those bits we need to be aware of. I will not say creative, but wanted to develop the team constantly. I think it's very important to have downtime. I'm more and more aware about that. I need the energy to keep going. I need the energy to keep pushing. I need the energy to keep doing what I can to push everyone. And to have that energy, I need to regain energy by get the rest, be on top of everything, and hopefully that will be fine. Actually, I will go to Denmark for 3.5, 4 weeks, something like that. And then also, I think we are 9 days in Spain or something like that with the family. So that's how I try to re-energize. It always helps when we know a little bit about the trajectory of next season. So we actually done a lot of planning with the coaching staff, with the performance staff for the pre-season and the pre-season tour. So everything is basically planned into next season. The recruitment, basically everything is lined up. Then we know there's a lot of moving parts there, but the pre-season planning done. So that's out of the way, so I can, don't have to think about it. And then I know there will be some online meetings and maybe physical meetings with Phil and Lee. I think it's always about keeping a strong squad, and I think we've got a strong squad. I know there's all rumors about players, but I think we've proven in all the years I've been here, and that's not me. That is Matthew, Phil, Lee, Gianvani, and of course me, but us together. That every single time a player's left us, I think we found another one. Others have stepped up. So I'm confident and comfortable that we will do that again. So that's the most important thing. If one or two is going to leave us, we need one or two in to keep the strength and maybe one or two to refresh a bit. I think overall I'm happy with the squad. There's not a specific position we're really looking into, but we are lined up everything from full-backs to centre-backs to centre-mids to wingers to strikers. So everything is lined up depending on the moving parts. The fans are crucial. I think it's been a fantastic journey we all have been on together. I think they have been very good again this season, and we truly need their support and really value it in so many ways. I think when we go away from home, the support we get there is so good, but it means so much to us when there's full away ends. I think the last 2 away games against Wolves and Ipswich, full away ends, fantastic. It loud, we can hear them, they push us forward, they get us through the tough spells. That means something. And there's been some times where we haven't had full away ends, and that means really a lot to us. So we appreciate everything with ticket price and travel and jobs and families and all that, but it means a lot. So if they could do what they could to make sure we have full away ends, it will mean the world to us. I think at home, when the team and the fans are on it together, it's a fantastic place to play at the G-Tech. It's really rock and roll, as we talked about. And I know it has an impact on the result. It does. They push us forward. But I also think there's times where I think it's a bit too much up to the players, where it could be louder, where they could help us more. And I just wanted we do even more to push together. I think that'll be fantastic. And man management, I try to be close to the players. I would like to use more time on it. I think that's sometimes difficult to get around to everyone because they are all of them individual persons with individual backgrounds and stories, and I love those stories, and I'd love to do more. Luckily, I've got a good coaching staff and good support staff that try to get around to as well. I think most of it is on top of my head when I'm in the moment. Of course, after the game, we just have briefly 2 minutes with the coaching staff and then Chris to go through. Okay, what was the takeaways? A little bit good, bad. Of course, always easier when you win, but you would perform very badly. and still win, and there can still be a message you need to get across. So I just try to get a little input there, and with that knowledge I try to word the message, and most of the time you're a little bit in doubt of what you want to say or what, but there's some, the Newcastle one I felt was good, because there were so many good things that you could, how can you say, praise for the team and the individuals, which I think is extremely important.
Wow, it's a good team. They are a good team with good players, and you totally fair, honestly, completely well-deserved win. Well done.
So we praised the team, but there were some of the unsung heroes kind of that got a little bit of praise. When they can do that, it's perfect, because with all due respect, Brian and Wiz, they got so much praise this season, so they deserve it. So it's more, a few others I need to remind. A lot in football management and football for any successful team is to keep the noise out. Let's say we are one unit here. We need to fight the world together. I think it's important that I don't listen too much to it, and the good thing I'm not reading too much. Of course, when I get the same question every single press conference, you're probably a bit aware of it. And the last and most important thing, of course, now I've been in football for quite a few years, so you learn to trust yourself more and more, and also know what you know is working. That's not the same that you shouldn't develop, shouldn't reflect, shouldn't get good input, and then you need to merge all that together, cut a little bit away, and then you go with your gut feeling from all that information. We always try to be asset to the Premier League, because if you only want to, how can you say, avoid relegation, only we need to survive, that's so negative loaded. And of course then we need to back the nice wording with the hard work and the structure and the processes and the alignment and the strategy, all that need to be backed. But if you merge that together, then it's possible to do what we've done. And I think personally, all Brentford fans should be extremely, extremely proud of their club and what we have done over the last many years. That's quite unique. I think we're one of the best stories in England over the last 5 years.